Good morning, namaste. My name is Tanya. Welcome. We have a power flow practice for you and really going to work through center of our energy body in this practice. So there's going to be quite a lot of twisting. What's really important with our twisting is that we really anchor the tailbone down and drive up through the back of the neck and through the crown of the head as much as we possibly can to get as much length and integrity in the spine so that we have some capacity for rotation and mobility through the spine. If we're really collapsed and contracted through the heart space and soft through the back body, then we're kind of limiting ourselves as to where we can move. The purpose of going through this practice really is to build and cultivate energy in our fire center. And our digestive fire in yoga is called our Agni. And when we're working with these polarizations of energy from the top and the bottom to come into the center, we are really starting to consider the capacity to cultivate and awaken Kundalini Shakti, our soul force, our power. It's all coming through into this practice here in the center. And when we awaken Kundalini Shakti in our power center, it translates into Rudrani or Bhuta Agni. So we're going to start on our back and come into a little active twist. You might need a block, which will help you if it's a little challenging for you to reach the floor in deep lunges. If you don't have one, grab yourself a nice big thick book or even a pretty firm pillow. So coming onto your back, squeeze your knees into your chest and just give yourself 5 big, deep, full breaths here. Just start to feel expansion of the belly resting against the upper thighs and feel the integrity of the spine, the whole spine completely anchored down to the earth, and using gravity and the weight of the thighs in towards the chest to really anchor the sacrum and the pelvis, lengthen out through the back of the head so there's a slight tucking in of the chin towards the chest, and the shoulders soft. We're going to keep the knees together and the ankles together and take the arms out to the sides so that the palms are facing the floor and the hands are in line with your shoulders, and we're using that as an anchor through the upper body. So plugging the hands down, start to find some effort through the back line of the shoulders as you press into the floor. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, we're going to sweep the knees to the right to come into a spinal twist, but not dropping the knees to the floor. So we're going to create a little bit of effort in the belly, and the in-breath will bring you back to the center, and exhale, take you over to the left. So we're kind of coming into a half twist, keeping the navel really engaged, spine connected to the floor. In-breath brings you up, exhale takes you to the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. We're going to take 3 more each side. Using your breath and the fluidity of the breath to sweep you through each movement. Creating some active forces through the belly. Now when you come down to the right the next time, you're going to let your knees come all the way down to the floor. Take your right hand, place it over the top of the left knee. Adjust your shoulders if you need to make sure that both shoulders are connected to the earth. And give yourself 5 big breaths here into the belly, anchored down firmly in the static twist. Allowing each exhale to really open and expand through the space. Soften through the face, the jaw, the shoulders. On your next breath in, engage the belly. Draw the knees back to center. And then we'll take the exhale to the opposite side. Taking the left hand over the top of the right knee now, adjusting shoulders if you need to, so that the right shoulder and left shoulder equally compressed to the earth. 5 big, beautiful breaths into the belly. And you'll draw back to center on an in-breath. Take your arms around your knees, squeeze yourself into a tight ball. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Bring your forehead towards your knees. Engage through the belly, balancing on as few vertebrae as possible, creating a little bit of fire in the belly. And then releasing, take the hands behind the back of the knees. We're going to rock and roll up and down the length of the spine. And then coming all the way over, cross your feet, place your hands on the floor in front of you, and step back into a high plank. If you need to take your knees down into a low plank, by all means, go ahead and do that. And as you rest in your high plank, you're going to really effortfully press your heels back, drive the crown of the head forward, dome slightly through the upper back, lengthen through the front body by smiling your collarbones towards the top of your mat. Squeeze the bottom, squeeze the inner thighs, pelvic floor gently engaged. There's lots going on. Activation through the navel center. You start to feel the body creating a little bit of heat, a little bit of fire, effort in the central core line. Just enjoy all of the effort in the body. We're going to take one more breath in. And we're going to land in a downward facing dog. So moving into that space slowly. Take a full breath in. And let all the breath go. And give yourself 2 more breaths. Find any gentle movement or space in the shape to allow yourself to feel open and settled, grounded but expansive. Then you're going to take the right leg to the sky on your next in-breath, 3-legged dog. And take a tiger curl, pull knee through center. Foot will land between the hands. We're going to drop the back knee, low lunge, fingers to the sky, in-breath. So anchor the tailbone down, lengthen the crown of the head up so that there is a real intention in the integrity and length of the spine. You're going to squeeze that right hip back, squeeze the left hip forward. Take your hands to your heart as you take your next breath in. Thumb tips nestled at the sternum as you draw your torso forward over the front thigh. And as you breathe out, twist to the right, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And now using the anchor and the lever of that elbow to knee to try and continue to pull your heart space to meet the thumb tips. Nice big deep stretch. Nice big deep twist. Fullness in the breath despite the constriction around the belly and the lungs. And take your fingers to the sky, crescent, hands to the earth. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Left leg sweeps to the sky, in breath. Tiger curl, pull through center. Foot lands between the hands, drop the back knee, fingers to the sky, in breath. And then you bring your hands to your heart as you breathe in. Pull your torso forward. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow anchors outside of left knee. Really ensuring every time you go into a twist that we're keeping the tailbone anchored and the crown of head reaching forward. And feeling the depth of that ringing out through the navel center. On your next breath in, fingers to the sky. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Rise up onto the toes, take a deep bend in the knees, either spring or step to the top of the mat, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Uttanasana, forward fold, exhale. Tadasana, mountain pose, sweep up to the sky. Uttanasana, forward fold, out breath. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. Downward facing dog, breath out. Right leg to the sky, inhale. Tiger curl. To crescent lunge, keep the back knee off the floor this time, rise fingers to the sky. And here in your crescent lunge, you can either keep that left leg super lean and straight and taut, or you can take a nice big bend in the knee, which I often like to do to set me up in the foundation of crescent lunge. Gets the hips and pelvis in a really beautiful alignment. A lot of effort in scissoring the inner thighs together. Right hip pulls back, left hip drives forward, engaging through the glutes. Beautiful grounded space through the pelvis. All of that extension through the spine. Then you can take a juicy breath in. Hands to heart, and we're taking twisted lunge. Left elbow outside right knee. So you're keeping the back knee off the floor here. If you need to drop the back knee, then please go ahead and do that. Keeping the effort and the intention in having the spine as long as possible. The reason why we're working into this fire center, from a digestive perspective, we know that our digestive system, our Agni, our digestive juices, help to assimilate and process anything we ingest into the body at a physical level, food, drinks, etc. Energetically, our energy center through the center of our belly, so we cultivate into the solar plexus, into the Manipura chakra, this awakening of Kundalini Shakti. We are burning through, assimilating, processing all of the energies, the emotions, the life stuff that we bring into our bodies. Next breath in, rise to crescent lunge. You're going to take a giant step forward into chair pose as you breathe out. And in this day and age when we are over consuming so much information, twisting practice is such a beautiful, powerful way for us to assimilate and process and digest everything we're consuming, everything we're bringing into our beings. So give ourselves some space, eliminate that we don't need, create space for all the goodness that we want to draw in. Take a breath in, forward fold, breath out. Should be feeling a little bit of fire in that right butt cheek now. Take a breath in, halfway lift. Forward fold, exhale. Tadasana, mountain pose, sweep up. Uttanasana, forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift, breath in. Downward facing dog, breath out. Left leg to the sky, in breath. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge. We've got 3 breaths here. So setting yourself in crescent however feels best for you. Really working with this central energy space through the Manipura chakra. When we awaken Kundalini Shakti in this area, when we cultivate Rudrani energy, we are inviting opportunity to really burn through and assimilate, process, understand all of the limitations of the lower mind, and cultivate our ultimate power center. Final breath. Twisting to the left, hands to heart, rotate right elbow to left knee. And no doubt you can appreciate the need for us to cultivate our personal conviction, our courage, deep sense of personal will and motivation to be able to live in this world in its chaotic and wild and unruly nature, and also so that we can keep remembering and coming back to our own personal purpose, what we're here for. And we need to cultivate our power, personal power and our conviction, and awaken this soul force within the navel center so that we can keep coming back and living our Dharma. Big breath in, fingers to the sky. Giant step forward, Utkatasana, chair pose, breath out. And just as in all of your twisting, especially in your chair, watching that you don't kick your bottom up and back, you want to drop the tailbone down, anchor it down towards your heels, finding spaciousness by lengthening crown of head up. And then from there, when the spine is super long, you can drive a little deeper. And as you're starting to feel burn in your thighs and your butt, cultivating tapas, this drawing of heat. It's a really beautiful way to purify and cleanse the body. And of course, to watch the limitations of the mind that will tell you, perhaps convince you, that you're not having a great time. Find one more breath. Character building. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, fold. Tadasana, mountain pose, sweep up. Big juicy breath out, forward fold. Ardha Uttanasana, half lift. We'll land in downward facing dog. High plank, roll forward. Find all of that strength and integrity in the plank. Your butt switched on, spine really long, quadriceps, knees active. Doming through the shoulders, collarbones shining forward. Feeling all of the effort. Keeping the breath as fluid and as easeful as possible. Final breath in. Drive back, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky, in breath. Crescent lunge, out breath. Driving up. Arrowhead, exhale. Crescent lunge, in breath. Twisted lunge, you're taking your left hand to the floor, your right fingertips to the sky. Really plug down through that standing front leg, the left hand on the floor, stacking the shoulders, finding enough rotation that there is a beautiful straight line from your right fingertips down to your right shoulder, left shoulder, all the way down to your left hand. Strong in both legs, spine long, finding some long holds in our twists as a way to really anchor in through that center. Power up the legs, a lot of effort, a lot of heat, which is necessary to alchemize and transmute all of the stuff that we don't need. Your next in-breath, your hands will come to the floor. Stay here as you breathe out. Crescent lunge, in-breath. Chair pose, out breath. Hands to your heart, breath in. Sink a little lower, breath out. Stand tall, Tadasana. Inhale, squeeze the legs. Forward, forward, out breath. Halfway lift, breath in. Downward facing dog, breath out. Left leg lifts, inhale. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge. Arrowhead. Crescent lunge, sweep up. Twisted lunge, exhale, right hand to the inside of the left foot, left fingertips to the sky. 5 big juicy breaths. Lots of time to really settle, anchor in, and power up the whole body. Find as much length in the spine as possible. Really ring out through that center. Keeping the breath fluid. Your 6th inhale will bring your hands to the earth. And crescent lunge, breath in. Chair pose, breath out. Hands to your heart, in breath. Sink down low. Big breath in. Forward fold. Half lift, in breath. Downward facing dog. High plank, inhale. Slow descent, full length of the out breath into Chaturanga Dandasana. Come all the way down onto your belly, untuck your toes. Cobra, a little roll through the shoulders, lift the head, neck, chest off the earth, fall back down to the floor. 2 more of those. Breath in into Cobra. If you're taking upward facing dog, it's also available to you. Fall down, exhale. 1 more time, big breath in. To downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg lifts, in breath. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge. Arrowhead. Crescent lunge. Twisted lunge, left hand to floor, right hand to sky. Big breath in. We're going to take a side plank, so rolling onto the knife edge of your left foot. You can either stay in a supported side plank with your right foot grounded on the floor, otherwise coming back, full Vasisthasana. Really now engaging side body, the obliques as a lateral aspect of this whole digestive center, this whole power center through the solar plexus. Engage and press up. Beautiful. On your next breath in, you're going to lift the right leg up. Draw the knee towards the right armpit. Rotate back to twisted lunge. Inhale, hands to the floor. Standing split as you breathe out. You may wish to grab a block here. We're going to be coming into a revolved half moon. So your left hand will come underneath your face, practically in line with the right foot. Right hand to right hip if you wish to begin with. Otherwise, taking right fingertips to the sky. Integrity of spine, length of spine should be the focus of your revolved half moon. And of course, grace in the breath. Beautiful. Next breath in, hands to the earth. Forward fold, top of the mat. Half lift, breath in. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, Utkatasana, in breath. Hands to heart, sink down low. Stay here, breath in. Forward fold, breath out. Half lift in breath. Through your vinyasa, either jumping back or stepping back, high or low plank, cobra or upward facing dog, to land in downward facing dog. Give yourself a centering breath here. And let all the breath go. Left leg to the sky, in breath. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge, power up. Arrowhead. Crescent lunge. Twist right hand to earth, left hand to sky, exhale. Big breath in. Making your way to side plank. Rolling onto the edge of the right foot, landing in supported side plank, or taking left leg back. Grounding down through that right shoulder, engaging the glutes and the hips, powering up through the side body. Finding the fluidity in the breath. Appreciating the heat. It's this heat that allows us to burn through the impurities of the mind, to burn through the impurities of the lower energy centers, where we bring up our fears, our limitations, our concerns around security and safety and survival. We burn it in the fire. Left leg lifts, left knee to armpit, rotate all the way back to your twisted lunge. In breath, hands to the earth. Standing split, exhale. Straight into half moon. You can use a block or not, totally up to you. Left hand to left hip, or taking the full rotation into your revolved half moon. Again, when we're working in these twists with the spine long, we create more space, particularly through the thoracic spine, to rotate, so that we can then stack the shoulders in a vertical linear line. Notice if you're holding the breath. You can probably hear I'm breathing pretty heavy. In breath, come back to the floor. Forward fold, top of the mat. Exhale, nice work. Halfway lift, breath in. Exhale, fold. Chair pose, in breath. Hands to heart, out breath. Big breath in. Forward fold. Half lift, in breath. Through your vinyasa, whatever flow you would like to take. Maybe you just land in downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky, in breath. Scorpion pose. Let's just open up through that side body. It's working pretty hard for us. A little moment of reprieve. A nice big lateral stretch. Big breath in. Tiger curl as you breathe out. Knee pulls through center. Foot between your hands. Crescent lunge, in breath. Arrowhead, out breath. Crescent lunge, in breath. Twisted lunge, left hand to earth, out breath. Side plank, in breath. Maybe you can go straight into star. Knee pulls into the right armpit, back to the twisted lunge. Half moon, step up, left fingertips to floor, right fingertips to sky. Inhale, come back to the earth, forward fold, top of the mat. Chair pose, in breath. Big toes touching, hands to heart, exhale. Twist to the right. You're going to take a big breath in, lengthen out the spine. Anchor left elbow to right knee. Big, deep, twisted chair. You're going to take the right foot, ground it down. Left foot unplugs onto the toe. Lift the left foot. Step it back. Twisted lunge. Big breath in. You have the option here, if you wish, to open up your wings, left hand to the earth, keeping that left shoulder plugged down to the right knee, right fingertips to the sky, super deep, twisty stretch through the shoulders. An in-breath will bring you back to the earth. Downward facing dog, exhale. High plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, inhale. Scorpion pose. Nice work. Big breath in. Tiger curl. Crescent lunge. Arrowhead. Crescent lunge. Twist right hand to floor. Exhale. Side plank, in breath. Back to your lunge, knee pulls into the armpit, rotate around, giant step forward, half moon. In breath to the earth, forward fold. Utkatasana, big toes touching, sweep up. Drive down as you breathe out. Lengthen spine, hands to heart, twist to the left. Ground down through that left foot. Lift the right foot off the floor. Stepping back. Twisted lunge. So here, if you're getting enough depth and there's enough length in your spine, the outer edge of your right shoulder can lock down to the outer edge of your left knee. Drop the right hand to the floor, left fingertips to sky, super, super deep twist. Beautiful compression through the belly, lots going on in the body. Keep the breath full. In breath will bring you back, always taking an inhale to release a twist. Through your vinyasa, stepping back. Maybe you drop your knees and take a low chaturanga. Maybe you fall to the floor and take a cobra. And we'll meet in a child's pose. Just taking a moment here to really appreciate all of the effort and the fire in the body, the heat that's being built up, the cardiovascular efforts, heart pumping harder, the lungs breathing harder. Using the child's pose as a way to just tune in. Deeply forward fold, calm down the nervous system a little bit as you breathe into the depths of the belly. To notice whatever is coming up. We work into these stronger poses and longer holds, we really get to create some space and an opportunity just to see into the nature of the mind. If there's any judgment or disappointment or frustration or irritation or annoyance, to just sit back in that state of witness consciousness and watch what the mind has to say in every moment, not just in a slow, longer hold practice, but in every moment. Anything that is not affiliated with the vibration of love and compassion and kindness, these low, dense energies rest down in the lower energy centers. Muladhara chakra, Svadhisthana chakra, these areas associated with fear states, any beliefs around being unloved, unworthy, not good enough, not capable enough, unsafe in the world. We get to see that and we bring it up into the fire and cultivate fire through the digestive center so that we can burn through the impurities of the mind. Slowly rise up. Stay seated on your knees if you can for a moment and just rest with your head, neck, shoulders stacked over your hips. And just notice the calming effect of that nice, big, beautiful, safe forward fold in the child's pose. Energies can be super centered and really grounded and calm. I always feel this really beautiful weightiness drives down through the pelvic bowl after a nice, big forward fold. And then we're going to come onto our back. So as you come onto your back, draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself 3 big breaths. And then take your feet flat on the floor. And we're going to come into a bridge pose. So take your hands down beside your body. We're going to take 5 little dynamic flows just to continue to lock into the presence of the breath and the fluidity of the breath and marry that with our movement, staying in this practice of flow, of vinyasa. So the in-breath, we're going to sweep the hips up to a bridge and the arms are simultaneously going to float up and overhead. The back of the hands rest on the floor above you. And then the exhale, you're going to sweep the hands down and drop the hips. Now there needs to be some synchronization here because the arms are longer and have further to travel. So we're moving the arms a little bit faster to match the effort in through the bridge pose. So let's go 4 more of those. I'm going to allow you to do that in your own breath and time. Inhale sweeps you up and the exhale takes you down. And then we're going to come into a bridge pose, lifting your hips up, clasping your hands underneath the body if you can, rolling onto the tips of the shoulders. And we're going to anchor up in the bridge for 10 breaths, keeping the chin really locked in. When we're working with cultivating Rudrani,
there is a whole systematic process that really allows us to lock into that practice, specifically through the Tantric Hatha lineage. And we can work with bandhas, with energy locks in the body, in particular breath practices. Working with Jalandhara Bandha right now, we have the chin locked, so we're containing prana in the chest. We're containing all of that energy, all of that life force, that soul force here in our chest cavity. It can't escape because the chin is locked in. So we work with reversing Apana Vayu, this downward driving force and energy, and Pran Vayu, which is an upward force of energy. We turn them around by locking the prana in the body and not letting it escape in its usual flow of energy. At the end of those 10 breaths, really anchor the heels up so that you're on your toes. We're going to release the hands, but bring the hands underneath the bottom. So my whole pelvis and butt cheeks are supported with my hands now. And I'm going to take one leg up to the sky and then the other into a soft shoulder stand. So I don't want the hips stacked over the shoulders. You can see my hips are resting back into my hands. My spine is on an angle and my legs are counterbalancing with my feet coming over my face. Activate your pelvic floor. So gentle drawing up of the pelvic floor. So now we're activating Mula Bandha. This gentle energy lock at the base of the spine, reversing the effects of Apana Vayu, drawing energy from the base now in an inverted upward direction towards the navel center. All of our low, dense vibrations, our limiting beliefs, our lack of worth, lack of love, lack of motivation and drive, lack of security, feeling unsafe, fearful in the world, rests down here in these lower energy centers. So we use the poses specifically to draw energy back to the navel center so that we can burn through the ghosts of our pasts, the limitations of the afflicted mind. When you're ready, very, very gently roll down onto the spine. Lay flat on the floor, feet on the earth. And just laying the whole spine integrated. Let your hands be beside the body. And give yourself 5 breaths here. And just allow the effects of the practice and the poses to move through and integrate at a cellular level. And then roll over onto your side. And we're going to come all the way up into a seat. And we're going to take Ardha Matsyendrasana, a seated twist. I think this is one of the most grounding and most powerful and potent twisting poses because the pelvis is really grounded down on the earth. You've got this really beautiful opportunity to create length in the spine. The pelvis is neutral and you can get into a really juicy twist. So we're going to take the right knee down onto the floor. So the right knee is in line with the right hip. And then the left foot will step over. Ideally, you can get enough pressure through the bone of the big toe to have the whole foot grounded, watching that your left butt cheek doesn't come off the floor and your right heel is pretty much kissing your left butt cheek. If that's really challenging, take a block or elevation through a cushion or pillow or bolster underneath your bottom will help to create a bit of space. So having your legs really firmly grounded, your left hand's going to come onto the floor behind you. You're going to reach up with the right hand as you breathe in. And we're going to twist to the left. Right elbow locks to the edge of the left knee. Take an in-breath. Just release the twist a little bit, pull the torso back towards the front, lengthen the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, deepen the twist on the breath out. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So in-breath, come back to the front. Exhale, twist. And 1 more time, breath in to the front. Deepen the twist. Lock the chin down gently. And then just breathe fully into the whole containment of the torso. 5 breaths. You release the twist on an in-breath. Come back to center for a moment. And give yourself a couple of centering breaths. And then we'll take it to the opposite side. So the left knee down in line with the left hip, grounding both sit bones. Right foot steps over. Really plug the whole surface of the right foot down to the floor. Right hand behind you. Lengthen the spine, left fingertips to the sky, and then rotate to the right. 3 times, a little release of the twist, breathing in, lengthen the spine, keep the length as you rotate deeper into the twist on the breath out. And 2 more of those. And then as you get into that 3rd exhale, lock the chin down towards the chest, close down the eyes, and 5 beautiful breaths, filling up on your energy, your life force, your power. And a 6th inhale will bring you back to the front. Extending your legs out, we're going to come into one seated forward fold, just as a way to really integrate and neutralize the energy body and the nervous system so that we can finish our practice in a really grounded, calm state. Take your legs out in front of you, Paschimottanasana, fingers to the sky, breath in. Hinging from the hips, keeping the spine long as you breathe out. Let the arms fall wherever they grab a hold of, shins, ankles, big toes, feet, whatever you can. Take a half lift, lengthen the spine, but keep the chin tucked in. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breath in, lengthen spine. Exhale, fold. And 1 more time. And as you take your forward fold, letting your whole body now just soften into that space. Drop the breath into the belly. It's a really beautiful way just to neutralize the whole body, everything in a beautiful symmetrical space, deeply folded over. Drop the breath into the belly. A way to calm and integrate, stabilize the energy body and the mind. On your next breath in, rise up into a seat. Just take a moment, head stacked on shoulders, stacked on hips. Again, just feeling, really starting to cultivate pranic sensitivity where you can notice the impact of the poses on your energy body, because this is an energy management practice. And then come and lay flat on your back. As you come onto your back, giving yourself whatever movement you need just to land into Shavasana. We're going to stay here for 5 minutes or so, and then I'll bring you up into a seat just to finish on a brief meditation. So letting the whole body relax. Letting go of all the effort. Give yourself a big breath in. Noticing the body resting on the floor. Noticing through sense awareness how you're feeling, where energy is moving. And gently rubbing the pad of the thumb on each fingertip. And then rolling over to your side. And bringing yourself all the way up into a seat. Ideally with the sit bones gently elevated, finding length in the spine. You're going to visualize a single almond-sized flame resting in the navel center, right in the center of Manipura chakra, our seat of courage, of personal will, of power, of worth, motivation, drive. It's our gateway, our access to soul force that allows us to remember who we are here to be in the world, and a space that allows us to burn through the impurities of the small mind and connect with the higher parts of ourselves. So sensing or visualizing this almond-shaped flame resting in the center of your solar plexus. And every time you take a breath in, this light, this essence, this power, this warmth, it grows a little bit. And as you breathe out, you rest in that place of awareness, that you have the capacity and the ability to cultivate and harness your own Rudrani, your own qualities of soul force and energy. Every breath in, this little flame grows a little more. Every breath out, you rest in that seat of awareness, until the flame expands so much that it encompasses the whole solar plexus space, the whole central aspect of your energy body. Filling yourself up on your own internal light. The essence of fire is light. And so as we cultivate and awaken Kundalini Shakti, transform it into Bhuta Agni, we can remember our own light energy, our own light source is within. Allowing that flame to get bigger and bigger until it fills up the whole internal landscape of your body. Until you are warm with your own light, illuminated by your own light. Empowered by your own source energy. And once your whole internal landscape is full of your own inner light, resting in gentle breaths on the fullness that you've created for yourself, and the luminosity that you can create for yourself with intentional practices. And give yourself one big final conscious breath in. And let all the breath go. Draw your hands palm to palm, Anjali Mudra. Thumb tips nestled against your heart center. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bowing head to heart in honor of the divine light that resides within each and every one of us. Namaste.